In the summer of 2017, something strange and completely unprecedented happened off the coast of Russia. Ships sailing through the Black Sea began reporting a bizarre and impossible problem. Their GPS systems, the devices responsible for knowing exactly where they are on Earth, suddenly placed them miles inland, not slightly off course, not drifting a few meters, but teleported straight onto the runway of a nearby airport. More than 20 ships, different positions, different systems, different companies, all reporting the same impossible error at exactly the same moment. And for the first time in modern maritime history, experts were forced to consider a disturbing possibility. Someone, somewhere, had successfully hijacked the world's most trusted navigation system. This is the Black Sea GPS spoofing mystery. And to this day, no one knows who did it or why. To understand why this event was so alarming, you need to understand how GPS works. GPS is built on exquisite timing. Dozens of satellites orbiting the Earth broadcast time signals accurate to a fraction of a microsecond. Your GPS receiver listens to those beacons and calculates the time delay for each one, determining exactly where you are. But here's the part most people never think about. Your GPS receiver isn't intelligent. It doesn't know if the signals it hears are the real ones or fake ones crafted by someone else. If someone broadcasts false but convincing signals, your device will believe them. This is the essence of GPS spoofing. In the maritime world, GPS is everything. It guides ships through narrow channels, avoids collisions, and prevents vessels carrying millions of tons of cargo from becoming unguided hazards. A ship without GPS isn't just lost, it becomes dangerous. So when the first reports came in from ships near Novorossiysk, Russia, confusion turned to concern. One ship's GPS placed it 40 kilometers inland, perfectly centered on the runway of Gelendzhik Airport. Another was suddenly located in a forest. Others were scattered across the countryside, positioned on roads, hillsides, or random empty land. Captains rebooted their systems. Nothing changed. Backup receivers showed the same impossible coordinates. The only thing the ships had in common was their location in the Black Sea. This wasn't a malfunction. It was too precise, too coordinated, too synchronized. Someone was feeding these ships fake GPS signals, and whoever did it was very, very good. Researchers who later examined the data found that the false GPS positions were eerily consistent. They weren't random noise. They were structured, timed perfectly, engineered to be believable, just in the wrong place. This was not the work of an amateur. But the question that haunted everyone involved was simple. Who would spoof the GPS signals of 20 civilian ships? And what could they possibly gain from it? One theory focused on Russian military testing. The region surrounding Crimea has long been known for unusual electronic warfare activity. Russia has demonstrated, both publicly and accidentally, that it possesses powerful GPS jammers and spoofers capable of protecting sensitive sites. Perhaps this was a test, a demonstration of electronic dominance, or even a calibration run for a new GPS manipulation system. But even this explanation has flaws. Why affect civilian vessels? Why risk disrupting international shipping lanes? Why teleport ships to an airport of all places? Another theory pointed toward criminal groups. Smugglers who use GPS interference to hide the movement of illegal goods. But spoofing more than 20 unrelated ships would be a reckless and unnecessary move for organized crime. Smugglers avoid attention. This created global headlines. There is also the darker theory, the idea that this was a message, a quiet demonstration of cyber-physical power, not an attack. but a warning, a subtle way of saying, we can move your ships, we can blind your navigation, and you won't even know it's happening. But there is a fourth theory, one that didn't initially receive much attention, a theory involving drones and modern drone warfare. It begins with something called geofencing. Most consumer drones, and even many professional ones, include strict rules that prevent them from flying into restricted areas, airports, military bases, sensitive infrastructure. If a drone detects it is inside a no-fly zone, it takes action immediately. Some will return to their launch point, others will hover, and many will simply land where they are, whether that place is safe or not. Now imagine you're trying to conduct aerial surveillance along the Russian border. You're flying a drone over the Black Sea, gathering information, but suddenly, your drone believes it is flying directly over an airport runway. Its internal geofence triggers, and the drone shuts itself down. Some drones will drop out of the sky. Others will try to go home. Some will land in the sea. If you wanted to prevent drones from operating in a sensitive region, you would want them to think they'd entered forbidden airspace. And now the clue becomes clear. The majority of the ships spoofed in the Black Sea were relocated to the same place, Gelendzhik Airport. For a drone, this would be catastrophic. It would instantly trigger the drone's emergency protocols. It would shut down reconnaissance. It would ruin surveillance missions. It would protect the coastline without firing a shot. This theory fits a pattern that is often overlooked. GPS spoofing is a powerful anti-drone weapon, and Russia has been aggressively developing counter-drone systems for years. Broadcasting a fake geolocation bubble centered on a restricted airport would effectively create a digital shield. Any drone entering the region would be forced to think it had violated restricted airspace. The side effect? Ships in the region receiving the same false signals. This theory explains why the spoofed location was an airport, why so many vessels were affected, why the event occurred near a sensitive military region, and why no one claimed responsibility. It was never meant for the ships. They were collateral damage in a much larger electronic warfare operation. But this theory raises another unsettling question. If this was a drone defense experiment, why did it broadcast so widely? Why did a system intended to affect small drones overpower the GPS receivers of massive cargo vessels? The answer might be simple. Power. The more power you transmit, the bigger the bubble. And the Black Sea is a region where Russia has every incentive to push its electronic warfare capabilities to their limits. But even if the drone theory is correct, it still doesn't fully explain the precision of the spoofing, or the highly coordinated timing, or the strange patterns observed in the GPS data during the event. There are hints that the false signals came from a moving source, possibly mounted on a ship or vehicle. Analysts noted that the spoofed locations drifted slightly over time, suggesting the transmitter itself might have been shifting position. Could this have been a mobile electronic warfare platform? A testing run of a new naval capability? A portable anti-drone system deployed from a ship near the coast? If so, the implications are staggering. It would mean one country has mastered the ability to override GPS over a wide area, shift hundreds of vessels, blind drones, mislead aircraft, or even misdirect missiles. And no one would know until it was already done. Some researchers believe the Black Sea incident was not an isolated event at all. They point to strange GPS anomalies over the Middle East in 2020. They highlight circular spoofing patterns near Shanghai in 2019. They mention similar incidents reported around Moscow, Tehran, and the Baltic Sea. A pattern seems to be emerging. GPS spoofing is becoming more common, more to test how far they could push it. 2017 was the perfect time to start. Whatever the real motive behind the Black Sea incident, the message was clear. The digital world we rely on is fragile. Our navigation systems, once considered unbreakable, can be rewritten with the push of a button. Ships can be moved off the map without moving at all. Drones can be grounded without ever being touched. And the public might never know who pulled the strings. Because after all the investigations, all the speculation, all the theories, the truth remains unsettlingly simple. No country admitted responsibility. No hacker group claimed it. No official report was published. And no explanation has ever been confirmed. 7 years later, the Black Sea GPS spoofing mystery remains one of the most remarkable cyber-physical incidents in modern history. A moment where the invisible infrastructure that guides our world was quietly rewritten, for reasons no one has ever explained. Was this a test of military power? A hidden attempt to block drones? A calibration experiment gone wrong? Or something far more strategic? To this day, no one knows who did it or why. But someone out there understands exactly what happened. Someone still holds the key to the truth, and the technology that made it possible continues to evolve, silently, invisibly, and far beyond public oversight. Because if someone can rewrite reality, shift your location, move your ship inland, ground your drone, and fool every navigation device you own, then the question is no longer what happened in the Black Sea. The real question is, what's going to happen next? This is the story of the Black Sea GPS spoofing mystery, and it is far from over.